We're filming
That was
now.
the intro, guys. Welcome to the Book of Boba Fett, episode 4. My name is Tony. I'm here with John and Ken and Sly Kiko.
Keep
Hey,
going. Yeah, welcome. The Gathering Storm. Yeah, I give this 6 stars. Thank you guys for
Is
watching.
that the episode name?
Gathering the Storm, or the Gathering Storm.
I-
Sorry,
I thought it was called like Reclaiming My Starship.
my Starfighter.
Starfighter.
That doesn't
Whatever
have a
the fuck
name.
they call it now.
My dad
Yeah.
named his truck. Boba Fett is
My-
not gonna name
my
his
ship
fucking
one.
ship.
It's the Ship 1.
You know what? I have one good thing to say about this show, about this episode actually. That opening shot was very pretty.
It
with
was
with his like kind of, you know, he had the windows open. You know, it looked very pretty outside. I like the twin,
very blue.
the
Very
tw-
blue.
the twin suns and stuff. That was very pretty. Yeah, cool shot. Liked it. Very cinematic. Good shit.
Boba's hand emerges from the sand to grasp the sand of Tatooine. And in the background is the maw of the Sarlacc pit.
And then we got a fucking flashback because he's in the back to
Once
tank.
again, he's back in the back to tank.
Yeah.
Dude,
This better be his last.
I feel like
act.
this episode really dragged on with the flashback, and
Oh, yeah,
I
'cause
agree.
his
I hope
healing
Sly.
is complete. And by that robot saying, skipping ahead a little bit, by that robot saying, your healing is complete. I knew he was talking to the audience as in, you don't have to watch this shit any fucking more. We're done.
You know,
And
that's
thank
bad
God.
when like the show a character in the show has to tell you, says, "Hey, we can finally move on with the main story." You know, it's
Exactly, that's
bad.
what it was. That's what it was. And I was like, oh, we're done. We're done, thank God. And then he's gonna get injured though in the last episode, so the next season could start with him in the back
Or
of
the
the tank.
back,
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah.
no.
He's gonna end up in
There's
another
no more
pit
backstory
somehow.
to tell. They've
I
caught up to the
know.
current
We
time.
don't even need to see every single like fucking thing that ever happened to him. You know, it's like, oh, this is the first time that he wanked. Flashback. Like, I don't need
I
to
was about to
see.
say his lost his virginity. Boba
Like-
Fett's prom. He has like a head brace and shit and braces.
Ha! I remember when. You know, like I'm
Hey,
tired
my
of
name
this
is
shit.
Boba Fett. I'm John Wick. Hear me, help me.
What?
What?
I am Boba Fett. I'm John Wick.
Are you doing a John
Whatever his
Leguizamo
name-
accent?
Leguizamo? Thank you. Yeah.
He couldn't figure out the name. So he was
John
just slurring
Leguizamo.
everything.
I said Leguizamo. I thought that was.
Lasagna.
Yeah, so it was a flashback to when he got finished Sean and stuff, and it was kind of cool. He was just sitting at a campfire, then you hear like the Mandalorian little whistle.
Flares.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you see the flares. That was cool.
excuse me. And then he goes
There's
gets
a
her.
good audio cue. His like theme, the Mando's theme.
Yeah, Mando is good. Everything usually anything Mando's good. You know.
Yeah.
Then we had a really fucking cringy scene where he brings her to like an alley like butcher like shop with
Pretty
like
much.
Mod shop-
cyberpunk.
It's called like
Back
a
alley
mod
surgery type
mod
shit.
bar. Or some shit.
Yeah,
it's
it
a
was like
mod bar.
cyberpunk as fuck. Like that actual thing was in cyberpunk a couple times, and they had like really weird dubstep like fucking music, and it was really cringy. Yeah, it was really bad. Please.
Last episode and this episode with the kids and their cybernetics, it doesn't fit with
It's
the entire
fucking-
show. It doesn't even fit with Tatooine.
Slide
It just
these
doesn't fit.
fucking Star Wars millennials, man, ruining.
Maybe
Star
that's
Wars.
that might also be some of the point is that it makes him seem so much older than they are because
Oh,
it's
that's
so
good.
disconnected and so different.
so disconnected.
Oof.
I mean, I've been watching Star Wars for the past fucking 40 years, 40 years of Star Wars, and not a lot of shit has changed, man. Oh,
John?
Death Star, we got another one, all right? Like, fuck.
He said disconnected and Tony disconnected.
Yeah, I'm back though.
Hello.
Good timing.
No, but
Um,
I actually like what Ken said.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought about
interesting.
Like it's like an age gap type thing.
And he's like,
coming
hey,
of
check this
age.
out, old man. He's like, what are those, fidget spinners? He's
Yeah,
like-
it was like JPEG Mafia turned around and was like, why didn't you just tell me it was an emergency? And then he just starts doing the surgery in like an 80s montage.
Did you
like,
just call
fucking-
him JPEG Mafia?
Yeah, bro. JPEG Mafia whips around. He's like, why didn't you just tell me it was an
That dude
emergency,
had
bro?
blonde dreads. How is he JPEG Mafia?
It was JPEG Mafia with blonde dreads. Look
Okay.
at his facial structure.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the scene was extremely cringy.
It was
Yes.
like a weird 80s montage. As I told John, I was like, if they didn't have the music, it would have been passable. If there was no music the whole time he was doing like the operation, but the operation was just like dun, 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 wah, wah, wah. And the music distracted from, I feel like, the actual scene because it was so like out of place.
Someone had to have thought that shooting that scene looked badass, and I hate to break it to them, it was
Hell
not.
is lame.
It
as
really
fuck.
goes
Lame
against the
as
theme.
shit.
Yeah, it just
Yes.
really stay. Anyway, so they did that.
I
and
thought some of the context was good though. Like him switching parts on his arm, I thought that was kind of
yeah,
cool.
it is. Yeah, you're right. It is cool.
It had some
'cause they
goodness.
kind of hide that from
mean-
you at the beginning that he has a cybernetic arm.
Yeah, I mean, like it adds because the previous episode we get introduced to a bunch of characters that might have something to do with like the show, but in this episode they said fuck it, not really, just kidding. They're not gonna be part of the fucking show. Well, I don't know why they introduced them in the last episode if they're not gonna fucking use them or show us anything about it. But it is cool to get some context and you kind of know about them. Now we get to know their backstory too, and like maybe they'll go back to fucking Tank. Yeah, then Fennec's like, hey, I guess I owe
We
you a
just have
debt.
a Gamorrean spin-off show of him in the back of the tank.
Just rolling around in
Little
fucking
piglets.
mug.
And they would make millions. Disney, listen to us.
Then yeah, Fennec and him are like, "Oh, you owe me a debt. Just help me get my starship back." So, all right, let's go get my fire spray
A
starfighter.
fire spray starfighter. It's not a name. It doesn't have a name. It's just
I would have rather he
my
said my
ship.
father's ship. I would have preferred he even said my father's
Yeah.
ship.
Well, it's not his father's because the Lego set says it's Boba Fett's
Well, yeah,
starfighter.
I just mean, at
Wait,
least,
does he-
there's sentiment.
He calls it
Did
his
they-
fire
they
spray
say-
starfighter.
Yeah.
He said
Fire
that.
spray
Is
starfighter.
that
Fire
the,
spray-
like?
His
Is that the class? Of
his
ship, not
literal
the
Yes.
name?
fucking words.
Yes.
He
Fire
can't-
spray
they can't
is the
use
class of
Slave
ship.
1 anymore because it's
Well, yes.
it's
Oh,
Yeah.
they can.
banned.
They totally can. They're just choosing not
No.
to.
Yeah, because they're like no, because I just don't understand. It's not
No
that
one
bad.
in the history of it having that name has ever been like, man, that name's got to go. Literally,
Well,
I don't
no one has had
understand.
an issue
It's-
with that name.
They could have played into it somewhat and said like, I don't know, something about his character changing after being with the Tuscans. He could have like been like, I don't like that name anymore. Something like this, or given it some other bad.
He was a slave once. I was a slave for the Tuscans, and then they took me in, so I don't like the name. Like that's the
that was
you're
a
right,
pretty
they
good
could've
Boba
just thrown
Fett,
that in.
actually.
They could have
I
at
mean-
least like tried, I guess. to make
They
Thank
kind
you.
of they're
It was
they are
Jeremy
showing
Bullock's.
that he has issues with like the Pike Syndicate. Remember when he said the slave mines of Kessel? He has
Oh,
issues
yeah.
obviously with slavery.
And
so
they're
it's
like,
okay.
Oh,
you
we
gonna do that
actually
to
buy
Boba?
spice from there. So what are you talking about, Willis? And he's like, well, no, you're not anymore, because I'm gonna kill them all.
I don't know. They could have played into it or something.
Agreed.
I saw the next couple scenes was actually kind of cool because one thing that I've really disliked about the show is that Boba Fett is taking the place of Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt had this really cool palace that was a fucking iconic place with just like being able to explore that and even in video games like this cool. Like you saw some places like in the upcoming scenes like in this flashback like you saw like the kitchen area, saw a couple hallways, like a hangar and stuff. I'm like, why is Boba Fett's palace so fucking empty? He's so empty, has no employees, and it's just like the whole issue, like that's led to this, like me having this problem in this episode. Just realizing that, like, he doesn't fucking do anything. Boba Fett doesn't fucking do anything as a crime lord, as anything. All he does is fucking talk. At one point, he had, like, oh, I needed to show some respect. There was a bar fight. There was riffraff going on in this town that is under his protection, and he just sat there and watched it fucking happen. The one time, like, he actually could do something.
They've
And he chose
completely
not to.
rewritten his character. They've completely rewritten his
Not
character.
his character, but as a fucking crime lord. The show is about him being a fucking crime lord. He's not a fucking crime lord. He even sat down with other people. He's like, I'm not going to pursue your territory. He's like, why the fuck are we watching then? What the fuck's the conflict? Where's the fucking drama? Like, why are we watching the show about a fucking crime lord that doesn't do anything? Does he do illegal import-export? Like, what is he doing? Like, where's the
My-
crime?
Issue is they're trying to like PG-13 his crime business.
Why
Like,
don't they
literally,
make
he
him
said-
like do something else then? Why is he like, I need to be a crime lord? Like I'm the daimyo. Like why are we doing? Why is this? Like what's the fucking point?
The only excuse they gave was that he's tired of taking orders from idiots, which I guess includes Vader now. But I don't know.
But I'm like, okay, you're in charge, but in charge of what? What?
Who's in charge? Wait, what?
Boba Fett's in charge. He's like, I'm in charge now. But in charge of what?
He wants to just do his own thing.
What does that even mean? He's like, I'm in charge of this territory, but like, you're not doing anything. You're not in charge. You're not managing. You're not like, it's just not doing anything.
Yeah, they haven't shown a lot of that
They haven't,
yet.
like,
I mean,
It's
it
not.
hasn't. He hasn't been in charge, quote unquote, for a long time. So I
No.
mean, you could argue that he's still figuring it out, and like this
But,
is us
like,
figuring it out with him.
We
and
can't get
seeing what
30
happens.
seconds of him like counting money or something, or like, I don't know, show some fucking crime lord shit that's going on, dude.
Honestly, present day, it hasn't even been more than like a week.
That's not my fault. That's up to them.
No,
I'm
that's
tired
what
of-
I'm saying. That's the issue.
Like, I'm tired of watching them do
Crazy.
nothing.
For us to have a idea of who this character is when he literally has had like 3.5 minutes of screen time in the original trilogy. Like, we don't know who he is. The motherfucker says 3 words about I don't kill Han Solo and hey, you want to pay me? Like, that's all it is. I'm gonna take him to Jabba the Hutt. That's all he says. And so then like who is he supposed to even be? Like, I don't know. Like, he's a bounty hunter, sure, but there's literally like one part of the episode where it even like shines on him kind of being like a scumbag, like ruthless, and it was the part I talked to you about where he just kind of like guns down the motherfucking
Oh, yeah.
That
biker
reminded
gang.
me of what Boba was supposed
I
to
like
be.
that. I like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I like that a lot because he just looks over at Fennec Shaw and he's like, "You got a problem with that?" She's like, "I
Yeah,
see
but you
shit.
guys
I was looking
understand
at my
like
phone."
what I'm saying about like how I want to actually see him like pursue or do
Yeah, you
something
wanna see
crime lord
hands-on
related.
Stuff. It's like, okay.
Not
yeah,
even
this
that.
is-
Like, I want it implied even.
No, the show's just became the book of Back to Fit.
That's fucking funny. But yeah, it was really cool. I like the little Chef Grievous shit. Like, that was cool. That was cool as fuck.
That was fucking hilarious.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the invading of the whole palace or whatever was pretty good.
Did you notice the rat catcher?
Yes, I did
Yes.
notice the rat catcher. Yes,
Fucking
that
shut
droid from
himself
like Clone
off,
Wars.
Yeah. Yep.
That shit was funny. But yeah, I thought a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with Jabba's palace was really interesting. I'm glad I could see some of that, like some of this stuff that was going on.
Yeah,
Um,
and we got a little bit more character development of Fennec,
Yes.
to some degree, which was
Ooh,
good.
man. The scenes leading up to this, her like at the campfire waking up, terrible, awful acting. She's terrible, dreadful.
What?
Yeah, she's terrible, man.
Okay.
I'm hurt. Nah, it is not good.
I don't like her much either.
I don't think she was given very good lines, to be quite honest.
That's what it is.
because her
The writing.
her as
Her
an
writing's
actor
never
is
been
very
good.
The show's not good.
What everyone tell George Lucas in A New Hope, George, no one talks like this.
That's the problem. Space operas. But
Yeah,
like,
so-
this
yeah.
one
Everyone's,
is, like,
everyone's a
cringy.
George, nobody talks like this. He's like, I don't give a fuck, you're gonna read it.
Yeah, so they get Slave One back, and it was actually one of my favorite scenes. That was-
No, Boba Fett's
Fire
fire
spray.
spray starship.
So they get the shit back, and I'm thinking in my head as I'm watching it, I'm like, great, he's gonna have to track down the biker gang. He's gonna have to meet up with them. He's gotta beat all their asses. And I'm like, man, like, why don't you just
I
fucking
thought
find
that
them
too.
and just blow them the fuck up? And as I was like thinking, as I come to the realization, I was like, as I started to dread the upcoming fucking part of the show, I'm like, he starts to pull up on and just starts fucking and unloading these rockets and just unloading his guns on all of them while they're like driving. I'm like, fuck yes, dude. I'm like, something that makes sense. I was
It's
so
the
happy.
most action of the entire season so far. And it's the most like in character so far.
Yeah, but like you said, like we gotta let some stuff break because he did go through a big like morality change because of the Sand People and stuff. So I am letting some of that stuff pass by and trying to like think of that quite a bit of like what his character is, you know, because a lot of the stuff from
We don't
before.
really know how long he was with the Sand People. He seems to think it was like he said it was years.
Yeah, he did
so-
say it was years at some point.
Sounds like it. But
That's-
then
yeah, he
we
said
have
the
some bullshit scene immediately after.
The fucking
Where
Sarlacc pit.
apparently he forgets that he got his ass whooped by a bunch of little midgets in
Those
sackcloths,
jaws.
and he's like, "My
Yeah.
armor's in there. We need
Wait,
to
I
go
don't-
back in the Sarlacc."
I don't think he
And
ever
then
saw
he
them
was
steal
in
his
the
armor.
pit for years.
But like, how could he forget that he crawled out?
He grabbed that one's leg as well. He grabbed
No,
that
but
one's leg.
maybe he thought it like fell back in afterwards. 'Cause he
Yeah,
didn't
maybe
see
I
it.
don't know. Yeah, maybe he doesn't. He could have
My
been under
armor
fucked up
got off of
condition.
me and
E-
crawled
e-
back in.
Either way, like I thought the scene was pretty dumb of him like getting like he drove his like fucking starship or
Extremely
right
dumb.
into the Sarlacc pit pretty much.
I honestly, I would have been happier if he just said, "We need to pay an old friend a visit," and then he just dropped the seismic charge in the Sarlacc for revenge.
Could
I
that-
would have liked that.
And she's
Well, I also
Fennec-
thought it was funny after the seismic charge goes off. He's like, "It's not down there," and I'm like, "Don't you think your seismic charge would have fucking annihilated your armor? You fucking
Not
moron."
Beskar, bro.
Yeah,
I
it was-
don't know.
Bro, it's Beskar.
Yeah, it
Who
was
cares?
confirmed.
But then what's the point?
Yeah, it was confirmed that it is Beskar.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
thought
it
that was pretty
was.
happy. And she was like, "Oh, I would have been like dissolved because of the Sarlacc stomach acid or whatever." And he's like, "Not Beskar." So
Most of his other like details on his suit obviously were dissolved by the acid.
yeah,
like
it was
his
weird
little-
because he had like a lot of actual. Do you remember like the battle damage on his actual face and stuff like that?
Well,
But like
yeah.
he was wearing his armor.
Yeah.
That was weird.
they didn't show any of that really well enough, and that was a big gripe we had in the initial intro. But
Yeah. But man, yeah, just this show has so much talking in it. It's just so
Too
much
much.
talking. Yeah, I just want something to happen. Like they really mean it when they say like gathering the storm. They're like, yeah, this. They're like, yeah, just like sit this one out, guys. We're just gonna do a little bit of stuff so it makes sense for the next episode. That's pretty much all it is. There was the bar scene the next one?
Yeah, he gets out. Well, after that is like basically the end of the catch up. There is a little bit between him and Fennec where he's basically saying what he's gonna go do, and like he's gonna start up this whole thing himself, and asks if she wants to be his partner in it, and and everything like that.
And we do
Oh,
get a
cool.
good shot of his armor with his guns. That does look pretty satisfying.
Yeah. But of course they had to talk about it. They talked about what they were gonna do next, and which led to a scene of more talking, which was cool. And then we went to a bar where there was talking of between characters, which I thought was
There's a very drunk Wookiee that just reminded me of Jimmy, and he just starts.
well. That doesn't really apply here because no one knows who the fuck that is, Tony, or that story. So, but we'll just stick
You
to
do.
what. So, Black Chrysanthemum was at what sanctuary? What was her name again?
Garza.
Yeah, Guard Sanctuary, the bar that we've seen like every episode pretty much. Like they go to 3 places the entire show. So we go to her bar and Chrysanthemum's like eyeing a bunch of Trandoshans that are trashed and having a good time, and he's like, they're having too much fun over there. So he just starts beating their asses. And then
They get like no reason for it either. They're just
Well,
like they
Trandoshans
should
are
have shown
Wookiee
him
slavers.
like fucking with them. or-
yes. Yeah, but
And he's go-
I don't think it was warranted. I feel like he was out of a drunk stupor kind of thing,
Yeah, I think it was more just. It would have been nice if it kind of portrayed that because they're slavers, he was upset,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the motivation. Because that's most likely
I've got
what it was.
all this extra money to gamble after selling all those damn dumb Wookiees. Like,
Yeah, something
know,
like
I don't
something.
know.
something.
like they had
Right.
Wookiee pelts or something like that.
Yes,
I
there you
don't
go.
know.
That would be enough to be
They
honest.
did give a Wookiee pelt in the beginning of the season to Boba as tribute.
Oh, that's interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Should have covered that, bud.
Sorry.
You're fired. No.
I was too focused on the lizard regeneration abilities. I'm sorry.
Thanks to Ken, which have come to light after plenty of research.
Uh,
So,
But I thought that bar scene, I also thought it was a little awkward because, I mean, so that happened. It seemed a little unnatural. Garza tries to talk him down and saying, "I'll wipe your bar tab if you don't go any further," because he had one of them in his hand, clearly about to rip his arm off, because that's what Wookiees do. And then after
Yeah.
all that, he seems like, okay, I'm on your side. I'll not do anything. But then he's like, no, I'll do it anyways. And then he just does it. And you see
Yeah,
him
he's
on
like,
the
I
ground,
want to
classic.
rip
It was
off
very
arm.
satisfying.
said fuck it, lol, and then he just.
But then what was weird is that
like, I don't give a
Boba goes
fuck.
all the way there. He stands in the doorway, watches this happen, and he's like, well, you tried, and then leaves. And then talks to Chrysanthemum. I was like, did he go there specifically to talk to him? Or was he,
Yeah,
like,
I
why
thought
was
that
he there in the first place?
odd.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I am the like power of this district, you think he would have been like, hey, you shouldn't have done that, so now I'm gonna whip your ass. But also now that I whipped your ass, do you want a job? Like, now I got my armor, you
See,
know?
that's
'Cause,
what
like,
I'm. That's why I brought the
why would he
point up.
just kind of be like, I'm a crime lord, but also you're free to just rip people's
If he was gonna
arms
make a
off.
point,
I
he
don't like
would have killed
Trandoshans
Chrysanthemum
either.
when he had him his prisoner.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I just thought it was kind of dumb. Like, I feel like he should have like stepped in or said something or stopped it, or
Right. He didn't do shit. He just watched like
Exerted
a
his power or
bitch.
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like it felt like he was weak. It's like, oh, I can't seem weak. I need to walk the streets. Like, why? You're gonna walk the streets just so you can watch shit go down that you're not gonna fucking do anything about, you pussy. Yeah, so that was annoying. And then
He's
he
like,
talked
hey,
to
do you want to be
Chrysanthemum.
my friend?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, when we just had a big spiel about him talking to Fennec Sean about how bounty hunting is stupid when you shouldn't, like, you should fight for something. He's like, I can give you something better than credits, loyalty. And he's like, hey, can I buy you some credits? And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, we just saw this nice scene about like him wanting to build a relationship with Fennec over something that matters. And then he's like, hey, just join me for some money. And I'm like, cool. Like,
Yeah, but he's
He's
not
like, I
hiring
always
to go
wanted a
bounty hunt.
dog.
I was kind of hoping that like I'm like cool, like he's not really practicing what he's preaching, but also at the same time it doesn't really matter. But I was like this newfound Boba and his like new like system of karma morality. Maybe you want to like convince him with a different reason or something like that. And he's like, I don't know, like. Just get him to join in another way besides with the money, the normal bounty hunting kind of thing. I feel like that kind of took away from what we were just learned or told about, like with Fennec, about their heart to heart at the campfire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but yeah, he's also not really looking for a bounty hunter, more so is like just an enforcer. He wants someone there for intimidation, and then what is coming next, because he's getting in bed with a bunch of chickens who don't want to get involved in this freaking issue with the Pikes.
Ironic.
It was
which is funny.
fucking chickens.
Ironic. Yeah, I forgot about this. They had a little sit down scene with a bunch of other crime bosses that
Oh, coolish, the Trandoshans and the
And the
Bulldogs.
Klutunians, yep.
Bulldogtonians. And then he was like, "Hey, don't join
They're
the
my
Pikes."
least favorite.
It's like, "Don't join the Pikes." And they're like, "Ah, fuck you, man." He's like, "I've got a Rancor." He's like, "Oh shit, you got a Rancor." Then
Yeah,
everyone's
the
like,
Trandoshans are like, oh, we sell spice, and the Pikes give us our spice, and he's like, that's great, but I don't care. I'm gonna kill them. And then he's like, just don't interfere and don't tell on me, please. And then yeah, they're like, I guess that we agree to those terms.
like, do they have soldiers? Like, I'm assuming like the Trandoshans and the other families, do they have like foot soldiers probably?
I'd imagine they have decent numbers
Probably.
of people on their side.
Do you think they're all cyberpunk punks from like most
Hopefully
eps?
not.
Doubtful. Very,
Oh,
very
okay.
doubtful.
Man, I feel like Boba Fett in comparison to the other crime lords that he's pretty underpowered here. He's got 2 pigs. He's got like a fucking zoo actually going on. He's got like
Yeah.
1 human. He's a fucking clone. He's got a walking dog. He's got 2 pigs. He's got a giant rancor. What a large group of misfits.
For real.
Yeah.
And it's foreshadowed he's gonna go hire someone else. real quick.
Yeah. I'm
I
pretty
did
excited about
appreciate
that.
That made me very happy. As soon as I heard the theme, I was like, it's about to go down.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that next episode.
Oh,
Yeah. I
The-
think then
the only
Fennec.
thing I was telling John I was curious about was, do we think we're gonna see Man?
Exactly.
Yes,
So-
we are going to see Mando next episode.
Yeah, probably.
100%.
That's
It's
what
like
we were
finished
just
each
talking
other's
about.
sentences. Yeah.
Probably Mandalorian would be pretty dope. That might bring something a little bit more star power to the episode. I mean, like Teron Morrison, he's doing fine, I feel like, but the show is just fucking lacking.
It is.
It cut out before I could finish. I was saying, do we think we're gonna see Mando with the saber?
With the saber.
Dark saber.
That's a good question. I think it's a possibility.
I think
But
he'll
I
have
guess-
it with him, but I highly doubt he's going to use it in combat.
I bet it might. Do you think he's gonna be like, I've got to trust it with somebody or some shit like that? He's like, it's not here with me, just
I
for
don't
them to
know.
avoid that shit.
I
Dude,
think that-
I don't want to see him in this light. within the Boba Fett show. The Boba Fett
You
show
don't
is
want him to get tainted.
exactly like this show's not good, dude. This show's not good. I'm
You
sorry.
want them to
Like,
stay separate.
It's not bad though. It's,
but like
I don't
it's
know.
so neat to see like different windows into the Star Wars universe, you know, in different aspects and different shit in like wow, live action da da da. It's like when's the last time we've seen the fucking Rancor in live action Star Wars, guys? Like
Like 40
ages.
years. Yeah.
Ages, right? And it's like fucking A, it's cool, but it's like this still isn't a good show. Like what the heck, dude? What the heck?
If anything, if they do acknowledge the Darksaber in the next episode, what they'll do is he'll show it to Boba because Boba hasn't seen that he acquired it. And maybe Boba will be like, "Do you know what that is?" And he'll give us like a history lesson or some bullshit.
That'd be
which
pretty
would
dope.
I would like that. Now, am I maybe giving them the writers too much credit?
Yes,
most
I mean,
definitely.
absolutely.
he already
Not at
kind
all
of got a
bad.
break.
See, that's actually a decent fucking
Giancarlo Esposito though.
Yeah, but like it'd be better if either
the
Bo-Katan
history or
next
something.
season-
Yeah.
Exactly. Someone
yeah,
mentions and says,
yeah.
this previously was in the hands of like Darth Maul when Pre Vizsla. Like, I'd like a little bit of a history lesson from the Clone Wars.
Can
to
Sasha
be
Banks
embedded.
come?
For real, right?
I hope
She's
so.
not coming back. Did you know
What?
about that?
Are you
She's not
fucking
coming back.
joking me?
I'm upset about that. She was a one-off character, and she's not even dead.
WWE told us no.
Fuck
I'm
you,
big
fuck you,
upset.
Vince McMahon. I want
I
Sasha
really
Banks.
like her
She's my
character. I
favorite
like-
Mandalorian.
She's damn right.
Lame.
You guys.
Definitely my proudest fap. I mean, God.
Jesus
it came out.
Christ.
I
It's
masturbated to the bantha in this episode.
All
An
right.
Yes,
emotional moment when they had to separate.
It really was.
That's why you're in Monster Hunter, Tony.
Go make bantha babies.
But honestly, the best part about the episode, as always, was the concept art at the very end of the episode. Because that's not
Whatever.
disappointing. Yeah.
I skipped it.
Oh,
I guess we'll have to see.
Mm.
Overall, the episode was all right. I
yes.
guess that leaves us with actual ratings, though. What do you guys give it?
A 7.
All right. Anyone
Really?
else?
A 7? I feel like it was a lot of talking for it to be a 7. And that flashback sequence was so long. And
I
just
think
unnecessary.
knowing the flashbacks are over, just bump it up a point.
Hoping they're over. The back does
well,
over.
can I-
Flashbacks may not be.
Can I criticize?
Although flashbacks only happen in the back, though, we've learned that.
As you were saying, though, John?
I wanted to criticize one thing that, like, when we see Fennec and Boba Fett, when we see Fennec Shand and Boba Fett in The Mandalorian Season 2, I feel like she acts like she owes him a lot more in that show
I think
compared
she
to what
just
actually
wants
happened.
some dick.
Am I right
I'm-
though? Like she seemed like she was like praised, like she was a very indentured servitude, like kind
I'm
of thing.
thinking it was probably because enough time had passed that they'd done some things together. Obviously
some
they
adventures.
got some revenge. Yes, and
Bonded.
Yeah,
Bonded.
he said there's
she-
some
she
things I gotta
bonded,
take care
yes.
of. Yeah.
Which that could mean then we will see more flashbacks of the two of them getting a little more.
Not
chummy
that I
because
want that, but
Oh my
yeah,
god, what if he has a child with her?
I don't
That's
know
not gonna
about
happen.
that. It's not likely, but I think one thing we've yet to find out is how did he find out that Cobb Vanth was the one who took his armor.
it's okay. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know. I don't.
It's definitely something.
I
we're gonna
don't give a
find out.
fuck. I don't show us, please.
You
I
know
like
they're
Cobb though. Cobb's a cool
I do too.
character.
I do
I'd
like
like to see him again.
Cobb.
Yeah.
I'd rather see some adventures with Fennec and Boba, just like doing
Maybe
badass
they'll-
shit or something.
Yeah,
That
maybe
would be
they'll
that would be interesting.
Cobb to help, like in this next episode. Like, hey, Cobb Fent,
Uh,
I'll let you use my arm if you help me out.
Yeah, I give it a 6.
I will give it a 6 as well.
Damn, fucking
I'll
sliding on the
make it
same
nice
page.
and- I'll make it nice and even and give it a 7 as well.
It's all right.
A
6.5 then.
6.5.
Nice.
All right, well, that's the official score for this, guys. We kept the review kind of shorter compared to last week's, but thanks everyone for tuning in. A lot of fun. I'm very in the middle about the show. I'm just like exhausted because I'm just really disappointed and wanted a lot more out of this. So I apologize for my negativity to a degree.
I guess we'll have to see. It has some potential redemption, but so far hasn't been like particularly fantastic. So I guess we'll see the next few. What are there? How many episodes left? 2?
3.
3.
we have passed the halfway point.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see if it ramps up at all.
All right. Well, then we'll see you guys later.
Peace out.
Bye.
I have a